High Counselor Vexthera read the message for the 7th time, her crystalline fingers trembling as she held the simple paper document. Around the Grand Council chamber, representatives from 43 species sat in stunned silence, each trying to process what they had just witnessed. The message was written on actual paper, a primitive medium that most civilizations had abandoned millennia ago. The handwriting was neat, almost childlike in its simplicity, with small decorative flowers drawn in the margins. At the top, in cheerful blue ink, were the words "Thank you," surrounded by hand-drawn hearts. 3 days earlier, the Galactic Council had transmitted their most severe ultimatum to the upstart human homeworld. Earth had been systematically violating every established protocol for new species integration. They had refused to submit to the standard 100-year quarantine period. They had ignored trade restrictions. Most disturbing of all, they had begun independently exploring star systems that the Council had specifically designated as off-limits. The ultimatum had been clear: submit to Council authority immediately, or face the consequences of the combined enforcement fleets of 43 worlds. Councillor Thekmore of the Korthak Empire leaned forward with his characteristic aggressive posture. "Read it again," he demanded. "I must be misunderstanding their primitive language." Vexthera cleared her throat and began reading aloud. "Dear Galactic Council, thank you so much for your recent message. We were absolutely delighted to hear from you. Your ultimatum was exactly what we needed to help us understand our place in the galactic community. We particularly appreciated the detailed fleet composition data you included in your threat assessment. The technical specifications for your enforcement vessels were fascinating. Our engineers have been having the most wonderful time analyzing your propulsion systems, weapons capabilities, and shield frequencies. Who knew that threatening someone required such thorough documentation? The deadline you gave us, 72 standard hours, was incredibly helpful for planning purposes. It gave us just enough time to prepare a proper response. As requested, we are indeed submitting to Council authority. Please find enclosed our formal application to join the Galactic Council as the 44th member species. We've taken the liberty of including our preliminary proposals for improvements to current galactic defense protocols, trade regulations, and exploration guidelines. We also prepared a small gift basket for each council member, containing samples of human cuisine, entertainment media, and what we call friendship tokens. The chocolate is from Belgium. We think you'll find it quite agreeable. Looking forward to working together. With warmest regards, the Human Diplomatic Corps. P.S. We noticed your enforcement fleets were having some trouble with their navigation systems when they entered our solar system. Our technical teams have already transmitted updated star charts and gravitational correction algorithms to help them find their way. Safety first. PPS Admiral Krejak's flagship had a minor reactor leak that we took the liberty of fixing remotely. No charge. Consider it a neighborly gesture. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Admiral Krejak, who had been monitoring the proceedings from his command ship, confirmed through his communicator that his reactor efficiency had indeed improved by 30% overnight, and his navigation systems were now displaying star charts more accurate than anything in the official galactic database. "This is impossible," sputtered Trade Director Morvek. "They've had faster-than-light capability for less than 50 years. They shouldn't be able to access our military systems, let alone improve them." Defense Coordinator Zilnara's 6 eyes were focused on her tactical display. "The enforcement fleets report that their weapon systems have been optimized. Firing efficiency is up 40% across all vessel classes. The humans apparently corrected what they called inefficient power routing in our plasma cannons." Councillor Vexthera continued reading the attachments to the human message. There were detailed proposals for streamlining galactic trade routes, comprehensive analyses of current council decision-making processes with suggestions for improvement, and what appeared to be solutions to several long-standing territorial disputes that had plagued the council for centuries. "They've solved the Andorian resource conflict," she whispered in amazement. In a footnote, they treated a 300-year diplomatic crisis as a minor scheduling issue. The most disturbing attachment was labeled Preliminary Assessment of Galactic Defense Capabilities. The document contained tactical analyses of every council member's military forces, complete with recommendations for strategic improvements and identified weaknesses that could be exploited by hypothetical hostile forces. "They've been studying us," Admiral Krejak's voice crackled through the communicator. "Every transmission, every ship movement, every diplomatic exchange. They've compiled a complete strategic profile of the entire Galactic Council in less than 72 hours. At the bottom of the assessment was another handwritten note. "We noticed some gaps in your perimeter defense network around the Rigel sector. We've deployed some of our exploration vessels to help with patrol duties until you can address the vulnerabilities. Hope that's okay." Long-range sensors confirmed that 17 human ships had indeed positioned themselves at strategic points throughout Council space, filling defensive gaps that military planners hadn't even realized existed. Counselor Thekmore's aggressive posture had completely deflated. "They turned our threat into a job application. They used our ultimatum as a networking opportunity. And they fixed our fleets while they were at it," added Defense Coordinator Zilnara weakly. The final attachment was a simple chart labeled Proposed Integration Timeline. It outlined a systematic plan for human integration into galactic society, complete with economic projections, cultural exchange programs, and technological sharing initiatives. The timeline concluded with humans assuming rotating leadership of 3 major council committees within 5 standard years. High Counselor Vexthera set down the papers and looked around the chamber. "Motion to approve Earth's application for council membership?" The vote was unanimous. In the margins of the thank you note, someone had drawn a small cartoon human figure, giving a thumbs up next to the words, "Looking forward to being space neighbors." Somehow, that cheerful doodle was the most terrifying thing any of them had ever seen.